All right, it's time to bring in Dustin Chase. He is our resident film critic, and he also is bringing us an exclusive here on Livin Large. Dustin, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I just came back from
from Austin
Film Festival, the 20th annual Austin Film Festival, and I kind of got an exclusive with Oscar winner Susan Sarandon, who came to receive the Extraordinary Contribution to Film Award at the film festival.
So you and Susan Sarandon are now best friends.
I guess so. I brought her some flowers, tried to butter her up so she'd talk to me, and she did. So we kind of talked about a couple of different things. She kind of walked me through her films, but I asked her specifically what it was that has challenged her all 4 decades of acting. What was it that she looks for in film roles, and what was the most important element of choosing these characters that she's chosen over the year? And well, you can hear what she said. You said in other interviews that you look for roles that challenge you as an actress. Can you tell me what some of those challenges are that you look for?
Well, first of all, if you're not afraid to do something, I think you get a little bit complacent and don't pay attention. So I always choose something that has some element that really frightens me so that I stay awake and present as much as possible. Sometimes, White Palace, I knew what I didn't want it to be. I didn't know what I wanted it to be. Thelma and Louise, I was determined not to make a movie about revenge and tried to focus on a woman trying to understand why these things happened because she'd been raped and therefore wasn't joyous necessarily when she blew up the truck, but was really just trying to understand what made guys think that behaving that way towards a woman was a good idea when they have a mother or a sister or whatever. There's always so many more ways for a movie to go wrong than there are for them to go right. Dead Man Walking, I didn't want it to be sentimental. I felt it was a love story, and that was the heart of it when I got the book and gave it to Tim. I felt that it used I didn't want to make a polemic about the death penalty. I wanted it to be about redemption, then the power of love and the power and the task that the religious take on of loving unconditionally, which is absolutely impossible. So each film presents something different, and sometimes they're physical things, just trying to sell something that's physical, that's different. But there always has to be White Palace. There was so much sex in it, and I had turned it down a few times. And then when Luis Mendoza came to me and I saw that he had done a love scene between 2 people in a wheelchair, I thought, well, if he can handle that and it's not funny, and we talked about it again being a scene and not just trying to hide behind each other's bodies. So every time you take on a film, you're going into uncharted territory. You have to learn a new language. You have to get used to the new people. You have to find a way to get the most out of yourself that you can. You have to find a way to be brave. And I think that's what keeps me hooked, is that you never really feel that you conquer any of that. I look at my work and I think, I was onto something there. Why wasn't I braver? Or that should have been clearer. How come they're not seeing that? I meant this and it didn't come across. So you're always trying to make it better, and it's always about the human condition. And for me, everything I do is a love story, because I feel this is the bravest thing 2 people can do, is to reach out and be vulnerable to each other, whether it's a woman and a child and the client, or whether it's 2 women in the hunger, or whether or not it's an older woman and a younger guy. Those are just details, but the whole act of trying to be intimate with another human being and being vulnerable to them is, for me, the most courageous act. And so the rest of it's all just details. Right. And so that's what I look for, and that's what frightens me, is trying to find that in whatever I'm doing.
Well, that leads me to ask you about The Calling that's coming up. I mean, you're in a lead role again here. It's a thriller, and it sounds like something that's very different. Again, that you're challenging yourself with something new that I certainly haven't seen you in. So
I've done 3 alcoholics in a row, with like a week in between each one. So I don't know what I'm doing now because Tammy, the one I did with Melissa
McCarthy.
ugh, out of control, comic alcoholic. The last of Robin Hood with Kevin Kline, I'm a one-legged alcoholic in a period movie. And then The Calling, I'm a pill-popping person with a bad back who's also a drunk. And I thought that was an interesting challenge, and to be a law enforcement person, you know, I get to wear all that stuff, and so that's a genre that I haven't done in a while. Is you know, a scary movie, and we'll see.
I'm really excited for
Good.
it.
That was great. You're buddies now with Susan Sarandon.
She was really.
Was she nice?
She was very nice. She was very nice and humble, and she's a very quiet person and kind of reserved. She was a little on the sick side, which is the real reason I gave her the flowers.
Well, what a prolific artist. I mean, in film, she is. Good for you, Dustin.
Yeah,
Sounds like a cool conversation.
Yeah, it's always good to sit down with these actors that have been around for so long. I feel like I learn a little bit more about them, and there's just so much to offer.